What happened to Jireni Capable is something no family prepares for.
She was found in the back of the vehicle, slumped over on the driver's side. She had been shot once in the head.
This video shows a suspect leaving the scene. 2 years later, the person still hasn't been identified.
The murder was picked up by a door cam, leaving the vehicle, so which kind of led me to believe that the person might stay somewhere in the area.
So he searches the area frequently, looking for any clues he can find. A tragedy no one can wrap their head around.
Welcome to Murder Watch TV, where we dive deep into the stories that shake communities and demand answers. If you're new here, thank you for joining us. Hit that subscribe button, like, and share to become part of our family. Today, we're stepping into the heart of Memphis, Tennessee, to unravel a case that's haunted a family and a city for years. This is the story of Jireni Capable, a 26-year-old mother whose life was cut short in a single, devastating moment. 3 years later, her killer still walks free. So, let's get into it. What happened on that quiet November night in 2021, and why does this case remain unsolved? Memphis is a city of soul, music, and resilience, but it's also a place where violence casts a long shadow. In 2021, the city recorded over 340 homicides, a grim statistic that frames our story. On November 11th, in the Nutbush neighborhood, a 911 call at 9:17 p.m. shattered the stillness of Prince Avenue. Officers arrived to find a scene that would launch a manhunt still active today. Jireni Capable, a vibrant young woman, was found dead in the back of her own car, a single bullet to the head. Who was Jireni? Why was she targeted? And why, in a tight-knit community, has no one come forward with the answers her family desperately seeks? This episode isn't just about a crime, it's about a woman who loved fiercely, a family left in grief, and a city grappling with silence. We'll walk you through the timeline, the evidence, and the questions that keep this case alive. We'll explore Jireni's life, her relationships, and the clues left behind, from doorbell camera footage to cryptic social media posts. Most importantly, we're calling on you, our audience, to help. Someone out there knows something. Let's piece this together, step by step, and see if we can bring justice to Jireni Capable. Let's start with who Jireni Capable was, because this case isn't just about her death, it's about the life she lived. At 26, Jireni was more than a statistic. She was a mother, a sister, a daughter, and a pillar in her North Memphis community. Nutbush, where she lived and died, is a neighborhood of contrasts, families fighting to thrive amidst economic struggles and rising crime. Jireni's story is rooted here, in a place where family ties are everything. Jireni wasn't just raising her own children, she had taken in 2 of her nephews, treating them as her own. This wasn't a small gesture. In a city like Memphis, where resources can be scarce, stepping up to raise children who aren't biologically yours is a testament to character. Her family described her as someone who loved kids, always surrounded by them, her bright smile lighting up every photo. On her social media, you'd see her with those boys, at birthday parties, school events, or just hanging out at home. She wasn't just providing for them, she was teaching them values, honesty, and kindness. But Jireni's life wasn't without its complexities. Her Facebook page offers a window into her world, a mix of joy, love, and the struggles of relationships. She posted about family, but also about a man who meant something deep to her. One post stands out, a birthday message to someone she'd been with for 7 years, a man who'd spent 4 of those years in jail. She wrote about waiting for him, about the 4 months since his release being the best of her life. These posts weren't just casual updates, they were declarations of loyalty, of belief in second chances. Who was this man, and how does he fit into the puzzle of her death? Jireni's devotion extended beyond her family to her community. Neighbors described her as someone everyone knew and loved. She wasn't a loner or someone who kept to herself, she was out there, connecting, laughing, living. That's what makes her death so jarring. How does someone so loved, so known, end up dead in her own car, with no one willing to talk? Let's pause here and think about Jireni's role in Nutbush. In neighborhoods like this, trust is hard-earned, and loyalty runs deep. Jireni embodied that. She wasn't just another resident, she was a presence, someone who showed up for others. As we move forward, keep this in mind, her death wasn't random. Someone targeted her, and the answer lies in the relationships and connections she built. Let's walk through November 11, 2021, the day Jireni's life was taken. It started like any other day in the Capable household. Jireni was up early, getting her boys ready for school. Breakfast, backpacks, the usual routine. She spoke to her sister, Candace, that morning, a conversation that seemed unremarkable at the time. They talked about the day's plans. Jireni mentioned she was heading to school and then meeting someone to get shoes. Simple, everyday stuff. Nothing in that call hinted at trouble, no sign that this would be their last conversation. By early afternoon, Jireni was out in Memphis, her car caught on various security cameras as she moved through the city. These glimpses show a woman with purpose, driving toward a destination she knew. But where was she going, and who was she meeting? The mention of shoes feels like a small detail, but in the context of a murder investigation, it's a thread worth pulling. Was this meeting about shoes, or was it a pretext for something else? As evening set in, Candace started to worry. She called Jireni once, twice, 3 times, no answer. This wasn't like her sister. Jireni was reliable, especially when it came to her family. If Candace called, she picked up. The silence was unnatural, heavy. By nightfall, Candace couldn't wait any longer. She got in her car and drove to Jireni's house, a 15-minute trip that felt like an eternity. Every stoplight, every turn, stretched out as her unease grew. When Candace arrived, the scene was chaos. Police cars lined Prince Avenue, their red and blue lights cutting through the dark. Yellow crime scene tape cordoned off the area, transforming a familiar street into something alien. Jireni's car was there, and so was she, slumped in the back, lifeless. A single gunshot wound to the head, close range, told a brutal story. Whoever did this was close enough to be certain. This wasn't a stray bullet or a random act. This was personal. The police were already canvassing the neighborhood, knocking on doors, asking questions. But Nutbush is a place where people often keep to themselves, where trust in authorities can be thin. No one reported hearing a gunshot. No one saw the moment of the crime. In a neighborhood this dense, how does a murder happen in plain sight, and no one notices? Or did they notice and choose to stay silent? One piece of evidence broke through the silence, a doorbell camera from a nearby house. It captured a figure leaving Jireni's car, walking away with chilling calm. No rush, no panic, just a steady stride, as if they'd done this before. This footage is the cornerstone of the investigation, a haunting image of a killer who felt untouchable. The suspect's face isn't clear, but their build, clothing, and gait are visible, enough to spark recognition, if only someone would speak up. Let's think about this for a moment. A killer walks away from a murder scene, unhurried, in a neighborhood where people know each other. This suggests familiarity, not just with Jireni, but with Nutbush itself. Was this someone from the community? Someone who knew they wouldn't be questioned? The footage raises more questions than it answers, but it's a start. It's something to hold on to in a case where answers are scarce. The Memphis Police Department hit the ground running. A murder like Jireni's, execution style, in a residential area, demands urgency. They started with the basics. Canvassing, witness interviews, and collecting physical evidence. The medical examiner's report confirmed the cause of death, a single gunshot wound to the head, fired at close range. This wasn't a crime of passion gone wrong, it was deliberate, calculated. The doorbell camera footage became the investigation's centerpiece. Frame by frame, investigators analyzed the suspect's movements. The figure's calm exit suggests confidence, maybe even arrogance. They didn't run, didn't cover their face, didn't seem worried about being seen. In 2021, with cameras everywhere, that kind of behavior stands out. It's the mark of someone who either didn't expect to be caught or didn't think anyone would talk. Jireni's phone was another critical lead. Her call logs, text messages, and social media activity painted a picture of her final hours. Investigators scoured her Facebook posts, particularly those about her relationship. That birthday message from earlier in 2021, celebrating 7 years with a man who'd been in jail for 4, took on new weight. Who was he, and what role did he play in her life? The posts hinted at a complicated relationship, love mixed with frustration, loyalty tested by time. One post mentioned getting wrapped up on accident. Was this a clue, a hint at trouble brewing? The man in question was Ronaldo Wright, someone Jireni had been with for 7 years. His criminal record was no secret, courtrooms and prison time were part of his story, though public records don't specify his exact charges. What we know is that Jireni stayed by his side through 4 years of incarceration, waiting for his release. When he got out in 2021, they had 4 months together, 4 months she described as the best since his release. But days after that, she was dead. The timing is impossible to ignore. Investigators likely looked closely at Wright, as they would anyone close to a victim in a case like this. Intimate partner violence is a leading cause of homicides for women, and Memphis is no exception. But without clear evidence tying him to the crime, he remains a person of interest, not a suspect. The lack of public details about his record or their relationship post-release leaves gaps in the story. Did something change in those 4 months? Was there tension, jealousy, or betrayal? Beyond the phone and the footage, the shoes meeting is a lingering mystery. Who was Jireni meeting, and why? Was it a casual errand, or was it a setup? Her car's movements, captured on security cameras, suggest she knew her destination. But no one has come forward to say they were the person she was meeting, or if they do know, they're not talking. The Memphis Police Department released the doorbell footage to the public, hoping for a break. Crime Stoppers offered a $1,000 reward for information leading to an arrest, a small sum, but a gesture to encourage tips. They held community meetings, emphasizing that tips could be anonymous. Yet, the silence persisted. In a neighborhood where Jireni was loved, where she was a known face, no one has provided the key to unlock this case. Let's consider the broader context. Memphis in 2021 was grappling with a homicide epidemic. Over 340 murders that year, many unsolved, point to a city where violence is too common and witnesses are too scarce. The code of the streets, a reluctance to talk to police, plays a role. But Jireni wasn't a stranger. She was one of their own. So why the silence? Fear, loyalty, or something else? For Jireni's family, the pain of her loss is compounded by the lack of answers. Her father, Jireni Capable, has become a fixture in Nutbush, walking the streets of Prince Avenue, studying faces, looking for anyone who matches that doorbell footage. He's not just grieving, he's investigating, driven by a father's need to find his daughter's killer. Every day, he replays that video, searching for a clue, a hint, anything that might break the case open. Candace, Jireni's sister, carries her own burden. The last conversation they had, about school and shoes, replays in her mind. She knew something was wrong when Jireni didn't answer her calls. That drive to her sister's house, the police lights, the tape, it's a memory etched in her soul. Candace has spoken publicly, pleading for answers, her voice breaking as she talks about the sister who was always there for her.
Please speak up for my sister, y'all, please.
The boys Jireni raised are growing up without her. They're not just nephews, they were her sons in every way that mattered. Imagine their loss, a woman who chose to be their mother, gone in an instant. The family's grief is a living thing, renewed every day the case remains unsolved. Jerry and Candace aren't just waiting for the police. They're active, pushing, keeping Jireni's name alive. Jerry's walks through Nutbush are more than a search, they're a statement. He's reminding the community that this isn't over, that someone knows something. The family's resilience is a testament to their love for Jireni, but it's also a call to action. This case isn't just about Jireni, it's about a city struggling with violence and silence. Memphis's homicide rate in 2021 was a crisis, and unsolved cases like Jireni's are part of a larger pattern. Many murders involve people who know each other, not strangers. The calm walk of the suspect in that doorbell footage suggests someone comfortable, someone who belongs. This wasn't a random act, it was targeted, and the answer lies in Nutbush, in the relationships Jireni had, in the secret someone's keeping. Crime Stoppers is still offering that $1,000 reward. The number is 901-528 cash. You don't have to give your name. You don't have to testify. But you do have to act. Think about Jireni's boys, growing up without her. Think about Jerry, walking those streets. Think about Candace, crying out for justice. If you know something, anything, make the call. Break the silence. This is where you, our audience, come in. Share this story. Talk about it. Someone watching this might know the person in that footage, might have heard a rumor, might have the piece that solves this puzzle. In Memphis, too many cases go cold because people stay silent. But you can change that. You can help bring closure to a family that's waited 3 years too long. Jireni Capable's story is a reminder that behind every case is a person, a family, a community. We're committed to keeping her name alive, to pushing for answers, to shining a light on the truth. Tomorrow, we'll bring you another story, one the media overlooked, one that'll leave you thinking. So, subscribe, like, and share, let's keep this conversation going. If you have information about Jireni's case, call 901-528-CASH. Let's do this for her boys, for Jerry, for Candace, for a city that deserves better. Until next time, stay safe, and let's keep searching for justice.